But Ashley, you continue to open that mouth out of that alligator head of yours and speak on other people's relationships. No pity for you. None. I hope Nicki Minaj and Andy Cohen eat your ass alive at that reunion. Because you're all the way wrong. All the way. What's up, y'all? I'm Sheila J, and welcome to the Diva Dish. This episode is all about the Real Housewives of Potomac. We're at season 6, episode 14, tossing salads and spilling tea bags. Also wish there would have been a caption that said, I don't know, shaking the shit out of Ashley. Once again, you're inserting yourself in situations that have nothing to do with you, defending a husband who continues to make a fool out of you every season. And I'm gonna need somebody to stand up for Candace. Once again, I'm so happy that Askala is here because she seems to be the only one that is a voice for Candace when no one else is around. Giselle, Robyn, Karen, even though Karen, you're trying to stay mute. I get it because Candace kind of did tear your ass up for getting into it, you know, with her and Monique, not defending Candace, essentially because Monique was wrong. She did act like a hood rat. And if somebody says something cross to you, you can defend yourself. There's no rules on how you defend yourself. You're using your words, Candace. So in my eyes, you've done nothing wrong. In my eyes, maybe you haven't done enough. But before we jump into that, if you've been to my channel before, thank you so much for coming back. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell so you can be notified when I drop a new video, and let's get into it. So previously on the Real Housewives of Potomac, we start off with the recaps. Of course, they're going back to Candace's video shoot where all the Mia-Candace gate started, where Mia was out of line, out of character, asking Candace's mama, is Chris getting paid? Basically, veiled questions for what's going on with Candace and Chris's money. Not your business. Moving on. Then we cut to, of course, the reasonably shady party that was outside in Giselle's driveway. And Giselle's bringing up, we're bringing up the whole incident where Mia was talking to your mom, and basically the shady sign was held up because it was quite shady. Moving on. Then we cut to the lunch that Mia's having with her mom that she's so concerned about. Not saying that she's not concerned, but clearly the relationship has been estranged. And I'm starting to think that the only reason she was brought around is to kind of smooth out your past, how you met your husband, how you keep your husband. Moving on. Then, of course, it goes back to the reasonably shady party where Wendy is like, I think we should do a quick jaunt. And, of course, I invited everybody and their husbands. And we know where that was going. Shady to Giselle. Moving on. We cut to then, of course, Giselle getting her roots done, child, and her telling Cal that she's not going to the party. Sending Wendy this good old text in the thread that she felt like the invitation was rude. Who knows, coming from Giselle. And yeah, then we cut to, of course, us getting to the house. Everybody getting super tipsy. Gordon, of course, getting tipsy, litty up in the house. And then it cuts, of course, to the salad tossing. And that's where we pick up. Let's get into it. So basically, Candace and Mia are going back and forth about the whole low budget thing. Eddie and Chris are outside and they see salad tossing. And of course, Karen and Ashley are there now. Ashley and her forehead trying to get all up in it on Mia's side because, of course, she's on whoever side is not, that's against Candace for whatever reason. I think you're jealous. Moving on. So they're going back and forth. Mia's getting upset. She's breaking, I guess it looked like a spoon holder, child. But of course, y'all, this is Airbnb. This ain't their property. Wendy's like, hold on, Mia, breaking shit. Now you can throw these leaves all day long, but you breaking shit. Stop. That comes off my security deposit. So of course she goes to her good old husband, he really is. And was like, listen, Mia's breaking shit. Salads are being thrown, tossed, hence the title. And come on, they talking about leaving. Come fix it. So of course he does. Then Mia, let's start the violins here. So she's going back and forth with, not going back and forth, but she's telling Karen and crying and Ashley about, you know, if my mom relapses because of what Candace said, that's not fair. Essentially, Candace is a stranger to your mother. And I would hope that your mother knew coming on this show there would be a lot of comments. And if her sobriety is based on what strangers think about her, you just told her last episode that you were still suffering from things that happened to you when you were a little girl. Can we create some new memories here? You got to watch your kids. That's a good thing. These are new present day 2021 things. Let's go with those and move forward. If we're not, you might as well put her back in the cell because that's how you're treating her. But then you cry because Candace talking about her. Check yourself. Moving on. Essentially, encourage them to stay, Mia and Gordon, and they stay. So, Askala, I love you. A, because I think you're really cool, you're beautiful, you and your family look very prosperous, happy, friendly, whatever. But you're standing up for Candace. She was like, you know what, Mia, let's start the violins again. She's sitting there crying about her mom and her sobriety. And I'm not diminishing that in any way. I'm just saying that I think you're using that as an excuse because I don't want to say you're jealous of Candace, but usually when people are very shady to people, which you have been, there's a little bit of coveting involved. I'm just saying. I mean, I know you're a rich bitch, but why are you so angry? Yeah, so Askala was like, I don't think that she was talking to me and she was like, I don't think Candace appreciated it when you said her video was low budget. I think that really hurt her feelings. And Mia kind of glossed over it. But we can't gloss over that. It's two sides to every story, and everybody, except for Askala and Chris, thank God for them, seems to not even focus on what anybody says to Candace. Y'all been clowning Candace for a long time about her money and how she gets it. Her living with her mom, who bought her wedding ring. Y'all accused her mama of that. Clowning. Her husband caters this event for you guys. Y'all clown him about not having any napkins. He buys napkins for you all. They have a very elaborate wedding. And so what if she's staying in a house that her mom owns? That's what people with wealth do. They share. They help. They assist in every other ethnic group but ours. And I mean African Americans. Because Africans, all other ethnic groups, it seems like, are very helpful with each other when it comes to business. They put everything in a pot so that people can come up. Now we're getting better. But y'all, let's be real. We're often not helpful to each other. Moving on. So Eddie goes after G and Mia. And Chris takes Candace outside. And Chris, you are the MVP of this episode. You have been the most reasonable, the most rational, even when you're tipsy, and most accommodating adult, I really believe, in this whole series. Love you. Round of applause and flowers to you, my love. Moving on. So basically he's asking Candace, begging Candace, just be the bigger person. Just be the bigger person sometimes. Yes, it's petty. Yes, I understand it hurt your feelings. Yes, it was wrong. At the end of the day, none of these people are paying your bills. And none of these people are friends. They're fair weather at best, with the exception of Askala. So Gordon comes in and boom. Gordon was like, I didn't want to come no way. I knew it. I knew that either he really was not used to being around the people, which is why he was acting a fool, or either he showed his ass so much to the point where she would never bring him anywhere again, ever, no more. So basically, it's like everybody's got to get ready for dinner, and we're going to table this conversation. And That's gonna be that on that. Moving on. Let me say that this is where Ashley started to get on my nerves, because it was clear in the conversation between Mia and when Candace was like, I've been there before. Now, granted, Candace was doing a lot to be so little, especially. But again, you can't control how somebody responds when you come at them with the bullshit. Period. How I respond is how I respond. Period. You poke the bear, you can't tell the bear how to act. Moving on. So, child. Okay, so after Wendy is convincing them to stay, Mia and Gordon and Karen are in the hallway. And Karen's like, stay, stay, stay. Gordon turned around. He was like, you look good, girl. Licking his tongue out. Being completely inappropriate. Which is kind of on par with his behavior during this episode. Moving on. The tea. Spilling tea bags, child. The salad has been tossed and the tea bags are being spilled. I mean, can you spill a tea bag? We are reaching. I mean, you can spill some tea, but a tea bag, herbs, everything. Anyway. So, it's Ashley holding her Corona, child. Karen, Mia, and Gordon in the hallway. And after he was inappropriate with Karen, Ashley walks up, of course. And she's like, what's up? Y'all staying? And he's like, yeah, I'm staying. And she was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to stay as long as Candace doesn't, you know, continue to talk about my mom. She can call me a hoe. Said my husband met me in a strip club, which he did because you said it. Baby Gordon, still litty, clearly. Was like, yeah, I met you in a strip club. But when I met you, you were a waitress. Then you were an entertainer. And I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I would pay for your time for 2 hours. What? $10,000 for 2 hours. I mean, if you gonna sell it now, child, price it right. Watch it though, Mia. Ashley's a dirty bitch. She will use this later on. Moving on. I mean, I wouldn't tell Ashley what time I wake up in the morning, let alone anything about my past. Mia, she is not the one. You saw how Wendy got her together a couple episodes ago for coming to her with about the Eddie bullshit. Don't trust her. I'm moving on. She's nobody's friend. Nobody's. I mean, Ashley literally holds no loyalty unless you're enemies with somebody she doesn't like. Because Monique, a couple episodes ago, before y'all were buddy-buddy, and everybody hated you but her and Karen, she was talking that cash money about you being a drunk driver, slut. Ashley has no allegiance to anybody, really, but Michael. I mean, she even turned on mama for Michael. Michael must got the girl. Moving on. To, you know, Candice fixing her makeup. Askala's in there being supportive. I love you, Askala. Please stay by her side. She needs some help or support. And we cut to Chris, of course, cleaning the kitchen. I love that Chris. God, I love him and Candice. It just seems so cool. I feel like everybody's jealous. I really do, because their connection seems very genuine. So, he's cleaning up. Ashley walks in, of course, her and her titties and that wide ass forehead. And Chris is nothing but nice. He was like, you know what, Ashley, I know that you and Candice have your issues, but I never congratulated you on your second son. Congratulations to you and Michael, even though your husband acted a mother fool with me at the last event from last season. Came up to Chris. Chris was minding his business, having drinks with Eddie and Juan, toasting it up because Juan had just got engaged. And here come you in your feelings about your boyfriend Juan, because you know that it's never going to be, you know, happen between the two of you. You were already being toxic as hell, talking about how Juan's never going to propose. What you know about Juan and we don't? Michael, you a bitch ass nigga. Period. I don't fuck if you white or not. I don't like you. I don't like your wife. You embarrassed the hell out of her, only for her to go with you to the Bahamas the next day. Ashley, I mean, I'm not inside anybody's marriages. Maybe you're doing it for the money, but I don't understand. You like literally. Moving on. I mean, okay, let's go back. So when you were first on there, your first attack was on to Robyn because you had been Googling and you told, I think it was Katie, about Robyn and Juan's finances. And see, Robyn was getting with that ass, but you was moving along. Then you came for Karen with the whole tax issue and the Max guy, the blue-eyed boyfriend. Then you came for Monique about driving drunk. Then you set your sights on Candice after that, and it's pretty much been there. And it's because I think you're jealous. I think you're jealous because Candice and Chris have a, I don't want to say real, because I'm pretty sure you and Michael's is real too. Clearly it is. We see it, you know, during the episodes. But they seem to have a semi-healthy relationship. Healthier than yours and Michael's. I mean, yeah. He doesn't embarrass the shit out of her, which is enough for you to be jealous of, because your husband embarrasses the hell out of you all the time. All right, so Wendy comes and tells everybody to be ready for dinner at 7. We see Mia's getting ready, and to her credit, in her professional confessional, she was like, you know, all these educated black people who are up and coming, you know, professionals, we should know better than to be out here on the Eastern Shore showing our asses, me included. Boom. That's getting your grown lady on. When you recognize your part. Giselle, I won't even say, I don't know, Robyn, you know, I really don't know what the fuck you feel outside of what you yes with the Giselle on, to be totally honest. Like, even your anchor spouse seems so random. But Giselle and Ashley, y'all can take a note from Mia. When you're wrong, say you're wrong. Or at least say whatever's going on is messy. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually the mature adult thing to do. Moving on. So then, the Green Eye Bandits pull up, child, Robyn and Giselle. And they're coming upstairs. Chris meets them. He's like, I'll take your bags up or whatever, because, you know, Giselle's broken her toe or some child. And they come upstairs, and the room that they're in has twin beds. You know, of course, they ain't any feelings about that, because you know how all the housewives are about their rooms, child. They don't play. So they get to their room, and Robyn immediately has an attitude. She's like, I'm on my period. I don't want to be sharing no room with nobody. And this room has no bathroom. Shade, I think, from Wendy. But on the flip side, she did let everybody pick their rooms. It wasn't like, you know, we were going to put you in a bad room. And then two, Giselle, you declined the invitation. And so did you, Robyn. So you get what you get. You came up here to support Ashley. That troll, in my opinion, Darwinism at its finest. Moving on. All right, so everybody's getting on the good old sprinter, about to go to dinner. And coincidentally enough, Ashley's sitting next to Mia. But they are both mature adults, you know. They're able to be cordial. Gordon sitting next to Mia, child, snoring, tired. All these drinks, all this activity, him, you know, not showing his girth, but demoing. I don't know, child. Just doing the most. Looking at something out of Karen, humping for white ladies and trying to include Eddie. Gordon has had a very busy day. It's time for a nap. So they're on the bus, and it was funny because Karen, Giselle, and Ashley were on the back row, and they were talking about teabagging for whatever reason. And Karen was like, what the fuck is that? And she was like, so what part of a man's anatomy do you think is most like a tea bag? I don't know, his balls. Karen, I get it. And she was like, so what would you do if you wanted to wet stop? And what's the toss of the salad? Not that. Moving on. So we get to the restaurant. Everybody sits down. And it's really cute. There's a group of these guys, white guys, on the table behind them. So Ashley, I guess following her plot story for this season, is like, Giselle, those are some nice guys. And Giselle was like, they weren't her type. She was like, yeah, okay, but no. So they send over shots. And coincidentally enough, behind the table they were sitting at were their wives. And their wives are like, y'all can't buy us no shots? So Karen gets up, being the grande dame she is. She's like, listen, if those are your wives, y'all need to be buying some YSL purses, some Gucci, whatever, to make up for this, because this is disrespectful. I've been with Ray for 25 years, the violins, and, you know, say married for 25 years, not knowing, you know, what to do. So it's clear, moving on, it's clear that Wendy is trying to offset this aggressive persona because she was overly everything to me in this scene. We're going to have a crab boil tomorrow. I mean, y'all on the Eastern Shore, that's not a big surprise. And yeah, it's just a lot. So Ashley gets to saying, yeah, Michael's not here because he's home with the babies. Can I see a picture? He's home with the babies. Pull him up on FaceTime. So she's like, yeah, he took, you know, the baby to the office and his assistant came in and helped. I'm sure she did. You got a picture? Did he take a picture? And he just take a picture? Can we see? Because like Candace said in her confessional, we don't know if Michael is at the strip club, a brothel, which he's all been caught in, y'all. This is not shady, outlandish accusations. These are things he's done. Moving on. So Ashley goes on. And she's like, yeah, you know, he's there with the nurse while I'm here. And Gordon said, is the nurse breastfeeding the babies? Baby, Wendy looked at him like, you are really crazy. He's some child. And Ashley was like, no, I pumped lots of milk before I left. And that's what the baby's eating. Gordon, stop. So, yeah. So Robyn's, you know, of course, in her feelings on her phone, trying to get a hotel room, child. Moving on. So then Ashley inserts herself in the situation. And she's like, so Chris, how did you feel about, you know, Mia and Ashley getting into it? And he was like, well, you know, it's a little hairy, but you know what I say? As long as me and the husband are cool, I feel like the wives can work it out. Me and Gordon have had a conversation, you know, even though Mia and Candice have gone back and forth, we've managed to remain mature and cordial. So he was like, Chris goes on, extending that olive branch to Ashley and her bitch ass husband. Talking about, you know, I really hope that one day Michael and I can be the same way, you know, because we're not. And Ashley in her forehead was like, well, really you are. No, they're not. But because you've had comments about my husband and how he lives, he feels a way about you. No. This is where you make me mad, Ashley. Last episode, you and Candace got into it, of course. Well, actually, it was you and Karen. And you, Ashley, being you and your forehead, stepped into it. And Michael saw it, drunk, already in his bag because his boyfriend had proposed to Robyn. And he goes over to Chris and says, you need to get your wife. Now, we're in a party. So Chris has had some drinks. He's chopping it up. And you gonna come over and say some inflammatory shit like that? I don't blame Chris for getting your ass. And then you continue to go in the production room. Your wife comes in there after you asking you to stop because you're embarrassing the shit out of these are her words, not mine. But Ashley, you're gonna defend him? So then Candace chimes in and Candace is like, Chris has never said anything about your husband. And she was like, yes, he has. He's commented about the way he lives, la, la, la. And Chris was like, no, I've never said anything about your husband. And then it cuts back to the reunion where Chris was like, Michael has embarrassed several women on this platform, and I'm not going to let him disrespect my wife, which is what a good husband should do. So Candice goes into, of course, you've said things about Michael. I have not. But your wife has. How stupid does it sound, Ashley? Again, your husband got in Chris's face. Do you think it's okay? He's looking real Peterish, in my opinion. Can Michael get a glass or a peach or an apple, whatever the fuck y'all hold? I don't know. But he on my nerves, and so are you. Y'all both ridiculous. Ridiculous. And see, the way Michael calls Chris normal, the way he talked about he didn't have a business, that's the same way he kikis about your mama. How he think he feel about you, Ashley? Clearly, there's a classism issue with your husband. He thinks people are beneath him. You don't think he don't think that about you? Moving on. So yeah, so they're at the table acting a fool pretty much. And Chris walks off because he's trying to calm Candace down. And Candace is being Candace. So he walks off, and Dre, Askala's husband, goes after him. And he's like, dude, you okay? And he's like, no, I'm not. You know, every time it's some shit. And my wife is not absolved from being involved. You know, she does her part too. I can't say that she does not. And Trey was like, does it always get escalated to this point? Yes, yes, yes. It's always messy. Always a problem. So they get back to the table. And Candace is like, listen. Basically getting in, not Candace. Ashley is like, Candace, basically you were wrong for talking about me as mama. You were wrong for comparing it to your situation with Monique, even though she didn't say Monique's name per se. She did bring up the whole hand thing and talking about I've been there, but you haven't. And at the end of the day, Ashley, you were not there. Okay? And I guess she was there. But still, it wasn't your fight, okay? And Candace is going on about, you know, the last year. And Giselle chimes in. She's like, Ashley did not make that fight. She didn't create that fight. Nobody said she created it. But she did get involved legally, which she did. She made a statement for Candace. And here's the thing, Ashley. You could have made that statement without even bringing up Candace, because all it was asking you to do is to attest to Monique's character. But I get it. There's not much there. She's a hood rat. So, I guess Candace was your only go. Moving on. And Giselle and Robyn to be backing Ashley up when Candace gets up to go find Chris, because y'all are like, she's holding on to last year. Now, this is very present. This is an issue that happened this season. This is about Mia running her mouth about her mom. And that's what we got into it about. And Ashley, once again, you've inserted yourself in a situation that has nothing to do with you. Where's Wendy to put her on notice? Because you lucky Candace is not Wendy. Because Wendy wasn't playing with that ass. You came to Wendy with that bullshit about her husband. She was ready to get with you. But see, you know Candace ain't gonna bust a grape. I wish she would. Because you and that forehead. Cut it. I could give a fuck about you, Ashley. It's like you have no... You're just toxic, I feel like. You're toxic. You are toxic and... Moving on. So Karen comes in and Karen's like, please calm down. And Candace was like, I don't care. And Karen said, but you will, superstar. And I was watching Ashley on Watch What Happens Live. And a viewer asked her, why did Michael Darby not come with you on the couples trip? And she said, well, he's really not getting along with the men. I wonder why. Because your husband's disrespectful. Nobody gonna stand for that. He lucky Chris didn't whoop that ass. But he knew who to go after. He knew. Because Juan, Giselle ain't got no man child. Chris, Ray even with his old ass. Ray don't like Michael. Because Michael got to talking about Ray's money, talking about where you moving to. Is your money okay? If you need to borrow money, you can borrow money from me. You remember that, Karen? Giselle, you don't remember Ashley coming for you? Robyn, you don't remember Ashley coming for you? And running that mouth talking that cash money? But Robyn, in your confessional, you're like, Candice just talks and talks and talks. So does this bitch over here. This wide-head bitch over here. Why is nobody coming for Ashley? I don't understand. Candice has valid points. Period. And thank God Askala's there to help her. Because y'all bitches, with the exception of Karen, because at least Karen has enough sense to remain neutral, or try to at least. Zell and Robyn, putting y'all asses on notice. Y'all about to be on the jackass wall. Because you're doing too much. Moving on. So basically, you know, they're still at the dinner table. Everybody's a little embarrassed because Candice and Ashley took it there. Chris had to get up and walk off. So Chris finally comes back. And Crystal's stating facts. Crystal's like, Crystal. Candice is stating facts. She's like, this has nothing to do with you. And if we want to go back to last season, you filed this, you know, okay, pretty much co-signed on Monique's issues and wrote this statement for her against me while you were kiki and smiling in my face. And then Giselle, she's like, you know, Ashley didn't start this fight. I didn't say she did. But she did write that character statement, and she could have easily just written about Monique. Baby Candace was ready with the reads. Wendy was like, so what happened to good vibes only? And Candace said, in respect to good vibes only, she can suck my dick. Pointing to Ashley. And Ashley's like, you ain't got no dick. You might have a little ass clitoris. I mean, a big ass clitoris, but you ain't got no dick. No, that's your friend. Candace. And it cuts to me as saying, I just can't stand her. She gets on my nerves. I know. She's quick. I get it. Moving on. So then we cut to outside. Not outside, but Chris is still in the lobby. Candice goes out to get him. They come back out to the table. And Ashley's still talking her cash money. And at this point, her and Candice, Ashley and Candice are going back and forth. And Ashley goes into, you are a terrible human being. There's nothing civil about you. But you started it. But Chris finished it. Because he said, so's your husband. So Mia chimes in. And Mia was like, well, here's the thing. Ashley, you were wrong. But Candice, you were wrong too. Candice said, act right now. You sitting next to your benefactor. Be on your best behavior. Benefactor. What exactly does that mean? Candice, you and this word magic. I ain't mad at you. Benefactor. A person who gives money. A person who gives money or other help to a person or a cause. Candice, you always get one for me, girl. And again, you got it right. Moving on. She loved it too. Keying with Ashley. Keying with Candice. Like you got damn right, I'm her benefactor. Moving on. Like you got damn right, I'm her benefactor. Moving on. So Dre's out there in the lobby talking to Chris, trying to walk him down, child. Candice finally comes out, and he was like, again, please. Can you just please, sometimes, one time, be the bigger person? We know she's wrong. We know she's petty. We know she's insecure, but can we leave it alone? For me. So yeah, that's pretty much how the episode wraps up. Karen was like, basically this is a pissing contest and nobody runs out of urine. They don't, thank God. And yeah, so they go to clips from the next episode. Again, looks like Gordon has put Ashley's bitch ass on notice and is coming for her. I hope he gets it to eat her up. Because I don't know what your deal is, Ashley. I think you're jealous of Crystal. I think you're jealous of Candace. I really do. I think you're jealous because her mom was actually in a position to help her and your mom was not. I mean, I get it. My mom wasn't either. So, I mean, I understand that aspect. But you can't be hating on the next bitch because her mother was helpful. Okay? Just like you had no control over your mama being unhelpful or not being able to help, she has no control over the fact that her mama was helpful. Nobody signs up for families to join, you know. If that was the case, nobody poor would have kids. Okay? Stop. You look ridiculous. You on my nerves. I don't like you. But Candace, Mia, even Mia, I still like you. Because even when Chris came back to the table, he was like, you know, me and G are cool. I hope that one day me and Michael can be the same. And Mia said, because you're a real man, yeah. Do you know Michael? Is that why you said that? He's a real man? Insinuating that Michael is not? He's some job. But I give you a point for that. So Michael, no. So Mia, Candice, Askala, Wendy, I don't know where to put you yet. Right now you're in the barrel with Giselle, of course that bitch Ashley, and Robyn. Karen, you've been pretty smart this season. You've not taken anybody's side. You've kind of been cool with everybody. So we're going to put you in the air right now. I don't know whose side you're on. But either way, Ashley's dead wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Where's your husband right now? Answer the question. Answer the question. Why are you talking about other people in their relationships? Stop. All right. That's pretty much all I got, y'all. This was so good. Gordon, you are giving me everything. Again, you are the Black Michael. But you own your shit. And you ain't pitching boys' asses, at least on camera. Alright, so again, if you've been to my channel before, thank you so much for coming back. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. So yeah, y'all know how to do after the bye. Looks like next episode, Gordon is coming for Ashley. Because again, your husband has left you by yourself. Because he doesn't get along with the other guys. Really? And you're okay with that. You didn't call him no weak ass mother. Because that's what he would have been to me. You so concerned about what people say that you can't come with me and be with your wife on a trip? You gonna stay home and get the 2 babies? Lies. You got a nanny.